What movie won?
Won what? Best sound?
Best movie this year.
Oh, the dog one.
Dog one.
Yeah. We won best sound.
Did we really?
We did. We won best sound for 1,000 Deaths. Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Hey, I'm Brian.
I'm Robin.
Welcome to Sound Part 2, post-production sound.
Actually, syncing the audio to the video is one of the very first things I do. The media is all synced and put together, and it's organized, and that can just make the whole process go so much faster.
Much faster start, yeah.
Usually as you start doing things like color grading or visual effects, in the past, for some films, that's when I will start doing sound design.
When you get your film in the can and it's shot, and then once you add the sound design to it, it's where it really comes to life, in my opinion, for the first time, because you've amplified every theme and tone in your film to match, whether it's scary or funny or sad. When looking for sound effects and sound files to create a soundscape, we'll go to Free Sound, the Free Sound Project, which is freesound.org. Put a link in the description. It's a great user database. People just upload sounds. Some you have to give credit for. You can put them in your credits, but a lot of them are rights free. They say just use them, don't have to credit. And that's, we will rarely just drop a sound in and be done with it. We'll typically use that as a starting point to layer sounds together, or to modify sounds, speed them up, slow them down. I was really impressed. You and Karen worked on the alarm in Capsule.
Collision detected. Course incorrect. Collision detected. Course incorrect.
R3, disable alarm.
Karen had gone through and had found like a ton of sound, like just individual sound files. After I had put them together, you went to see, what was this sound? Like, I thought it would, and you said you were shocked that it was like 12 sounds.
It was, yeah, the alarm was very complex, but it didn't sound overwhelming, and it worked really well. It didn't sound silly like a beep, 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 like an alarm, but it had like this kind of like terror to it, or this kind of anxiety to it, and it worked really well. Q was one of the first times film score and sound design kind of mixed, because there's a lot of sound design like terror stings or thriller hits and stuff, and we kind of made a score out of sound design. It was kind of like this weird mishmash. Sophia was also very like that, those like horror sound stings we found, and they kind of create these, like looking for ambient sound design.
What do you want from me?
It's creating a mood. I unfortunately was not able to be at the screening that year, but I remember you guys telling me that when the Starwipe logo came up and it had the ambience, that like sound of dread underneath the Starwipe logo, you said everything went quiet because it had been a bunch of comedies up to that point, and then that sound was what stopped everything.
Starting with that sets that tone before you even see the first frames. We're like, here's the kind of movie I'm getting into. Kind of reorients their brain, especially in a short film festival where you're being bombarded by different genres and tones and like scary, sad, funny. It's helpful to like a palate cleanser. You're like, hey, okay, here's the setting for this one, and go.
Capsule is a great example because it is a science fiction story, and so you are in a very specific space for the majority of the film, and so creating that soundscape is just as important as it was to build that set. It may not seem like it. One kind of seems like it outranks the other.
They work with each other very well.
Yes, they do.
And one doesn't work without the other.
Precisely.
The classic starting a film with a old-timey phonography thing, because old recordings sound creepy and unsettling. I mean, Jordan Peele does this in Get Out. I've seen other filmmaker friends do it, and I did it in Yellow Jacket. Actually, Artlist just put a bunch of tracks up there that are called retro, and it's just super fun, starting with like a creepy old warbly track, and people are like, oh, what's this?
And then once the sound design is laid in and we get the general soundscape determined, then it goes into mixing.
As far as creating like mixing sounds and adjusting sounds, we use Adobe Audition if we have to do a lot of processing, like effects. But Audacity is a free program you can download. You mentioned another one.
Reaper. It's very similar to Audacity and GarageBand.
It's just a great place to apply effects, echo, reverb, pitch up and down to help make the sounds fit your soundscape better. Not just putting in the vanilla sound and just letting it go with a hard stop, hard end, but merging it all into one. When I mix, I will just turn everything off except for dialogue, and I'll make sure that, of course, we have the right track picked. Are we choosing the lav or the boom if there's an option? And then I'll just mix that to my set level. Then I'll turn that off, mix all the sound effects, and turn it off, mix all the music. And then when I play them all together, that's when I can really, like, as a broad channel, bring everything up and down, depending on what I want to be at the forefront. So it's tempting to just kind of mix and go all at once, but then you tend to, like, either get louder as you go or softer. You don't have a nice bass line. So I get everything to a nice bass line. Typically with dialogue, I'll mix between -12 and -6 dB. And don't be afraid to push it close to 0. You don't want to clip, obviously. Definitely save your dynamic moments. Don't have everything super loud, but like save those dynamics for when you really want something to hit, that you pump it up a bit.
Use it as a storytelling device. It's just like framing, it's just like focus, you know, and any aspect of visual storytelling, there is sound storytelling as well.
When you do record actors for ADR, or even like a voiceover, like a character's like inner monologue, be thinking about the character state. Because I remember in One Day, we had Allie in the bedroom and we had her just read all of her lines, kind of like, okay, we'll just get her to say her lines. And then I think Karen and I were like, hey, how about we do like, we crank it up, we get it really quiet, and you crank it up and have her almost whisper the lines, like, and the effect was so striking.
But ever since I was little, one day, I have to believe that's enough time.
Typically closets are good too. Just anything putting a blanket over an actor and letting them speak in there. Reverb can really add a lot to your like space as well. When we did 1,000 Deaths, we were filming Amanda and Vish on a very small green screen set, very close mic'd, very clean audio. And I remember me and John Rosenberry going back and forth. I was like, more reverb, more reverb, more reverb. And we spread it way out because it took the digital sets that I created and just made them feel so much more real when you have that huge, because we all know what it sounds like to be in a big space. We've been in like cathedrals or churches or like big halls or museums, and you know what it feels like. You feel that overwhelming sense of reverb, but then also dialing it in carefully so that it doesn't sound really, you don't lose the critical dialogue in like a big theater when you're watching it at a film fest.
You deceived me, my queen.
Choose your words wisely, knight.
Or what? Would you kill me? Please.
The sound design is used effectively so that your sound effects are not grating. So even if they're intended to be off-putting, like scary or
unsettling,
like it's mixed well so that it doesn't completely make your audience want to like walk away from it and turn it off. And that's where the post side is so important as well.
Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on the Film Race series. Bye for now.